Sean here from Sean and Kiara, and I'm back with another reading comics video after quite a bit of a hiatus. And this time I'm going to read a story from Flash Comics #1. This is a comic that originally came out in 1940, and this copy that I have here is a facsimile edition that was just published recently, within the last year or so. And unfortunately, this edition of it was printed with, well, it's a rather nice cardstock cover, but it's printed in this shiny metallic printing, glossy printing, which makes it hard to show with my light without getting a glare from the light. So I think probably what I'll do is I'll put up an image of the cover as it normally would have looked right here. And we're not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read one story from this, and it's actually not one of the stories featured on the cover here, but it's, so when I had this comic originally, when I bought it as a kid, I bought it in one of the sort of oversized Treasury editions that were being printed at the time. These came out in the 1970s. And they were reprints of classic comics from the Golden Age and others. And it was one of the comics I was really fixated on, this issue. Not only was it the first appearance of the Golden Age Flash, which I was interested in, it was also the first appearance of a few other famous Golden Age superheroes, Hawkman and Johnny Thunder. But the other stories in there intrigued me as well. There's a story about a character called the Whip, which I think maybe we'll read some other time. But the one that really stayed with me was one, here it is, called The Demon Dummy. The nice thing about these facsimile editions is not only do they print it on newsprint, which gives you a feel of how the colors might have come off originally, which is very nice, instead of being printed on bright white paper. But you also get the ads from the time as well, which I love to look at and to read. Anyway, the story we're going to look at today, The Demon Dummy, which is subtitled A Flash Picture Novel in 2 parts by Ed Wheelan. I really haven't investigated who Ed Wheelan was, but as I've looked at this, so I haven't read this story since probably when I was a kid, when I had this originally, and so I'm looking at this again with adult eyes, middle-aged eyes, after having been a cartoonist myself and studied other cartoonists. And I really have a new appreciation for the art. So coming back to the story that I had some peculiar fascination with, which I'm going to try to figure out exactly what that was. And the art reminds me a lot of less of the kind of stuff you would see in superhero comics. And again, you know, the Golden Age, it was the comics industry, comics artists, writers, artists, and so forth. They were really trying to figure things out. It hadn't really, things hadn't gelled or ossified into the kind of DC style or the Marvel style that we would come to recognize, that, you know, really came about in maybe in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. And so there was still a real variety of styles. Some of them were not so great. But this artist, Ed Wheelan, and I'm supposing that Ed Wheelan is both the writer and the artist. And again, I haven't done any research on Ed Wheelan yet, so maybe I'll do that later. It reminds me a lot more of adventure serial strips, like Captain Easy, Roy Crane, that type of thing. Less superhero comic and more of that type of thing. Terry and the Pirates, Milton Caniff, that kind of style. And there's something about that style that I'm really a big fan of those types of strips anyway. So immediately looking at it, that's what comes to mind. I like the subtitle, a flash picture novel in two parts. Because we're still going with the title of the comic itself, Flash Comics. And even though the main character, the Flash, the headlining story will eventually take over the comic and sort of dominate the being identified with the title of the comic. So we begin with a little title frame, and so the story sort of begins with this, and then we go into a flashback, and here we see the character in a I like this kind of Monopoly game style prison outfit with the stripes here. Listen to me, will ya, you sap? No, no, Red. The ventriloquist dummy is talking in this kind of street dialect. Another thing that I really like about some of the... You find these in a lot of the older comics, like old Batman comics. All the gangsters talk in this kind of street dialect. So we begin. Sign outside the theater. Added attraction. The great Dunstan, ventriloquist. Now, Red, tell me, just what would you do if you saw your best girl stepping out with another fellow? I'd moit it a bum. Why, Red. Dunstan always pretended to be greatly shocked by the dummy's tough talk while the audience roars. Meanwhile, in one of the dressing rooms backstage. Stop, Jim. You must be mad. I am, Madge. I'm nuts about you. You know very well that Harry Dunstan and I are engaged now. So please, Jim, stop phoning me, and don't come here again. I think one of the things that I'm noticing about this art as I'm reading through it is the predominance of profiles in the drawing of the characters. We see very little of the characters facing us forward. We see them mostly in profile, which is interesting. You really get more of the character of the character, I guess, from the profile, especially this Madge character. And I remember, even as a kid, now looking at this, and this really brings back memories, as a kid I was really struck by the way that her profile was drawn. Her eyes, the shape of her nose, and her receding chin, and then the sort of shape of her hair going up to a point like that. Just the shape of these profiles. And the juxtaposition of Dunstan having been in prison, clearly showing the signs of premature aging from the hardships of prison, and here he is in his prime. You weren't so upstage with me, Madge DeVere, before you met this ham ventriloquist. Dunstan finishes his act. Wonder where Madge is, Red. She's usually in the wings watching us. Oh, pardon me. Come in, Harry. I want you to meet an old friend of mine, Private Detective Devlin. This is my fiancé, Harry Dunstan. Well, congratulations. The dummy is constantly making comments down here. Blah. Yes, I've known Madge ever since she was a kid. Just dropped in to say hello. Must be on my way now. Happy to have met you, Dunstan. So long, Madge. Nice chap, that Devlin. I think he's a tramp. Oh, honey, I wish you'd stop putting your own unkind ideas into Red's mouth. When that dummy is with you, you seem like two utterly different personalities. So here's the main tension of the story. The dummy is kind of speaking for, is sort of the mouthpiece for Dunstan's id. He's sort of saying things that his his own filter, or his own governor would not permit him to say. She says, "It frightens me sometimes. I'm beginning to hate that Red." "Nuts to you too, lady." That's an interesting little exchange there. "Haha, don't be like that, sweetheart. I just have a lot of fun pretending that Red is a tough little brat who insults me as well as everyone else." "You said it." "I don't think it's as simple as that, dear. I'm afraid that dummy has become a part of you, and that I'll be marrying him too. Honestly, Harry, I'm scared." So this is an interesting, kind of a sophisticated premise for a comic, this idea of this sort of split in the personality, or the partitioning of a part of the personality into an object like the dummy. And in fact, at the time, when I had this as a kid, there was a movie out which had the same kind of premise. It was about a ventriloquist and a ventriloquist dummy, and it was a horror movie. And the idea was the dummy was sort of taking that part of the ventriloquist and sort of becoming alive and enlivening that part of its ventriloquist's character. Meanwhile, Private Detective Jim Devlin arrives at his office. "I've got to get Dunstan out of the way, but how? If I could only pin some crime or disgrace on him, Madge might then consent to marry me. I've got it. You want it on the phone, Harry?" "Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Sam." "Hello? Oh, yes. Mr. Devlin. No, I'm not. I see. Yes. I guess I could arrange it. Meet you? Where? Okay, I'll be there. Goodbye." "Madge, your friend Devlin wants me to do my act for his club next Sunday night. I'm to meet him after the last show tonight and discuss the dough details." Discuss the dough. "So far, so good. Now I'll get busy on the frame-up." So we know something's coming. And there's not a lot of time to sort of develop this story. I mean, you have to really get right to the main idea, which we do here on the third page, that Dunstan has some problems with this dummy, and there's this this dramatic tension coming up with Devlin. So we don't waste a week. We only have 6 pages or so to develop this whole idea. And so we have to do it very efficiently in a comic like this. Devlin goes to the rooms of some of his hired henchmen and outlines his diabolical scheme. "Okay, boss, it sounds pretty risky, but I guess you know what you're doing. I only hope there ain't no slip-up, that's all." "There won't be, Slim. I'm going right over to the cafe now and get everything set for tonight." The Cargo Cafe, secretly owned by the racketeering detective. Devlin arranges for the frame-up of Dunstan. I kind of like this guy, whoever he is the bartender, I guess. "We'll use this back room, Tim. Slim Grimes and the boys will pick up some old bum, and we'll be buying him drinks. You give Dunstan a knockout drink, and then watch for my signal about the lights." Slim Grimes. Classic. Gangsters have to have names like that. That night, after the show. "Well, dear, I'm off to meet Devlin now. I'll call your room in the morning, Harry, to hear what happened." Back in those days, bachelors like Harry Dunstan would live in a room. "Hello, Dunstan. Still carrying your dummy, I see." "Yes, Mr. Devlin. Wherever I go, Red goes too." Devlin now takes the unsuspecting ventriloquist to the Cargo Cafe, where the stage is all set for the frame-up. "Drink up, buddy. Yous guys sure is regular guys." This is the bum that they've brought in. "Let's sit in the back room and talk things over." As arranged, Dunstan is given knockout drops in his drink. "Say, what's the matter with me? Oh." And before he can pass out, Devlin gives the signal, and the lights are switched off. Bang, bang, shots ring out in the dark. The next morning, "His room doesn't answer, Miss DeVere, but have you seen the morning paper? Ventriloquist shoots derelict in Cafe Browl. Harry Dunstan charged with murder of unidentified vagrant. Witnesses say that he became violently angry at Detective Devlin and may have intended to shoot him. A month later, Dunstan is sentenced to 20 years for manslaughter. You skip ahead a month. There's no wasting time here. I still claim I am innocent, although I cannot remember what happened, Your Honor. Goodbye, Madge. You know I'm not guilty, don't you? Oh, Harry, I wish I did, but it's that demon of a dummy, Red. The other side of you, which I've never understood. Always saying, I'd moita the bum. Oh, it's too awful. Right, he's lost the faith of Madge very easily. Well, officer, I've lost my liberty, my sweetheart, and everything in the world, but one little pal, my dummy. At the warden's office. It's an odd request, Dunstan, but I can see no harm in allowing you to keep the dummy in your cell. And now, number 2379. Cheer up, pal. You ain't lost all hope yet. You can still hope for revenge on that detective rat, Devlin. No, Red. Sure, keep on hoping, and hoping for revenge. Revenge on a dirty double-crossing dick. Don't talk that way, Red. In the dreary days which drag by, the other prisoners gradually forget about Dunstan and address most of their remarks to Red, who has become to them an absolutely real person. Hey, Red, we got a letter from Butch Scanlon today. He says Devlin married Madge DeVere 2 months ago. Is that so? Well, I'd moited a bum someday, don't worry. Stop it, Red. Drab days, weary weeks, monotonous months pass by. It's a nice little cliche, not only in comics, but used in movies too. Dunstan is now a wreck of his former self. Hate and a burning desire for revenge on the man who has ruined his life and stolen his girl have all but unbalanced his mind. Red has indeed become his evil genius, a demon dummy without a soul. You mug, I always told you that Private Dick was a rat. He just put you out of his way so's he could have Madge. And listen, sucker, don't worry none about Madge neither. The way she gave you the bum's rush showed she never really loved you. You said it, Red. Tell that buddy of yours he's just a sap. All dames will double-cross you sooner or later. And then one day, through the mysterious grapevine of the underworld, which knows no barriers, suddenly drifted the sensational news that Jim Devlin had been arrested for murder. I hear that Slim Grimes confessed to the bulls. Yeah, and the rest of the mob pinned the frame on Devlin. That means they'll have to free Dunstan. And when the news reaches Harry Dunstan, all that his warped mind can think of is to tell Red. Poor guy, he's stir-crazy and don't know it. Hey, Red, they've got him, Red, they've got him at last. Whoopee, oh boy, oh boy. The next day. Dunstan, I've received an order for your release. A terrible injustice has been done to you. But for your own good, we will have to detain you until Devlin arrives. There have been too many rumors that you seek a personal revenge on him. No, Warden. Madge needs me now. Poor old chap. Madge Devlin died yesterday, giving birth to a baby boy. The child will be placed in a foundling home. 2 weeks later, Devlin arrives to begin serving a life sentence, and Harry Dunstan suddenly finds himself outside the grim prison walls, a free man. Oh, you sap. How are you ever going to get Devlin now? Please, Red, stop it. You're driving me crazy. Foiled of his revenge, what does the unbalanced ventriloquist do now? What of Madge's baby? What of Devlin? Follow this powerful picture novel by Ed Wheelan, famous creator of Minute Movies, in the next issue of Flash Comics. So I have no idea how the story continues, or if it did, or what Minute Movies was. Something I'll probably want to investigate and find out more about. But here we have it. It ends on a sad note, clearly, but kind of on a cliffhanger as well. And I think next time, so this brings us to the next and the last story in this comic, The Whip. And that's the other story that I'd like to read. So maybe we'll get to that next time. In the meantime, thank you for joining me in this episode of Reading Comics. Hi, this is Sean of Sean and Kiara. We are the creators of two graphic novels, Lucy in the Sky, made for middle grade readers, and Rhiannon for the young adult market. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to our channel. And if you're interested in the things we do, please consider joining our Patreon site, where we make available new comic art and other things we create, or following us on Instagram. Thank you.